Okay, I'm back. Oh no. I had to reset my tablet. So let me continue with the eyes. Oops, that was way too big. So I'm gonna go back to the round brush. I learned the hard way that when you're working on building up your values, it's easier to work with the round brush. At least that's how it is for me. So let's make that darker. It should be almost black. No. Why did it turn that color? Okay. I feel like the pupil needs to be higher. Let me redo it. I feel like every time you put down the iris of the eye, the eyes like instantly look like a symbol. Like when you're a kid and you're trying to draw eyes for the very first time. And since you don't really understand volume and dimension, you just draw a super flat eye. So every time you just put down the iris in the center like that, it reminds me of that eye symbol. Just need to build it up. Okay, it looks so much better since I added the darkness around the eyes. Now it looks more like it's having dimension. Like the eye is a sphere It's not just a flat surface. And then the lid is creating a shadow over the eyeball. A very faint shadow. I think I want to make it a little bit darker. Okay. And then now we'll add a little bit of highlight. Okay, that totally was not light enough. Then we'll add super bright highlight. Oops. Then I used yellow for that. And then for my other super bright highlight, I'm going to use kind of like this greenish yellow. That's one of the things that I've had to learn when doing art. You don't need to use white. You want to use, for highlights, you want a tint of color in your highlights. I need to draw the shadow over her eyes on that side. I have to redo her eyes. Which color? Okay, so we want to make it a little bit more like dark brown, almost black. She has on some eyeliner, but we don't want to make it too heavy on the eyeliner. I feel like when you do that in a painting, it can look really fake. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that so far. So now I'm going to draw underneath her eyes. So everything has to be thought about in terms of light and shadow. Even though underneath the eyes, it's very tempting to just think of it as it's just the line underneath your eyes, and oftentimes women wear eyeliner too. So oftentimes we would think of it as just like, okay, you're just gonna make a line, but that makes it look very cartoonish. So we have to try to capture the shadows or between the lids, such as there's a shadow on the sphere of the eye next to the lower lid, and then there's a shadow on the other side, the part of the eyelid that's facing out. Where the eyelashes are, they cast a shadow. Do I have another layer? Yes. That might be a little bit too bright. So I'm just showing the flush of the lower lid. It's like the glossy part of the eye on your under lash. You have like a flap of moist skin for your lower lash. So that's the part that I'm drawing right now. And since that part is moist, there are oftentimes highlights. And then I'm drawing the shadow of the lower lashes. I feel like that looks a little bit too prominent. Now I'm doing the shadow around where her eyeball is because it's a sphere. So the shadows should show that the edges of the sphere. Okay, I feel like the darker eye looks so much better than the other side. Your eyes are sisters, not twins. Hmm. I think maybe the eye was way too big. Oh, that looks better. Okay, so now they look a little bit closer. Okay, my colors are like all over the place. Am I on the right layer? No. I'm working with so many layers, I forget which layer is which. Okay, so I'm going to have to fix her pupil. I kind of regret picking an image that's straight dead center in the face. Because when you do that, it makes it super obvious if something isn't symmetrical. I usually much prefer a 3/4 view. So now we're going to continue with the shading of the eyes, which is a sphere. So there are these subtle shadows where the flesh of the stuff holding your eyes together. I don't know what it's called. So where the flesh holds the sphere of your eyes together. So there's a shadow. It's like a sack that's holding the sphere of your eyes together. Oops, my battery, it's not charging. I have to make sure it's charging. Okay, these chargers from Amazon, they never work. They work for like 1 month. And then they stop registering. I don't understand why. So my iPad doesn't want to charge now. It charges for like a second. It was working earlier today. I need to work on her lips and her nose next. Okay, I'm gonna try to look for a charger. I'm gonna be right back. let's hope this charger works. I thought I was prepared and I brought my charger with me, but because it's a cheap Amazon charger, it didn't work. Let's hope this works. Okay, it made the charging sound. Oh my gosh, is this not charging? Okay. This one's not working either. I hope it's not my iPad, because I do not want to get a new iPad. Oh my gosh, I just want to paint. Okay, that worked. Yes, it's finally charging. So let's get back to our painting. I need to do the nose. Should I zoom in a little bit more? Okay. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I'm gonna work on the nose and the mouth now. I have the reference picture on my computer as well. So with the nostril, it is darker, like up against the front of her nose. But as it moves towards the back, there is light towards the back of the nostril. There is light that hits toward the back of the nostril, so it does get lighter. Okay, so yeah, that looks more like a nose now. And then I think I'm gonna make the shadow around her skin a little bit purple. Why not? So this is the back. The back. The side. Not the back, the side of her nose. Gave her a mole. Where was that blue that I used? It didn't save the history. Okay, so we want to do the bottom of her nose. And then more shadow here. Something looks off. Oops. Hi there, super terrific Trevor97. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well today. I'm having trouble with this nose. I feel like the nostrils are a little bit too far apart. You know what? I'm just gonna have to roll with the punches here. So what has been going on this week with social media? Oh, you had a nice movie night with family. That's awesome. What did I do? I just made dinner. We made a chicken rotisserie, but of course we don't have a rotisserie, so we just marinated and then put it in the oven but it's similar to a type of rotisserie, and I try to make the skin really crispy, and the secret to making crispy chicken skin is using a little bit of vinegar like 5 minutes before it's done. So and then now I'm just drawing after dinner, and I love movie nights, but I feel like for me anyway, I usually watch Netflix. So if there's like nothing good on Netflix at the moment, it feels like there's nothing good at all. But I need to diversify probably and look for other streaming services. I feel like Netflix is such a hit or miss, and there's so much competition now. It's so hard to do shadow and make your painting not look muddy. So I think I am doing okay so far. I like to use blue shadows. So that you can still kind of see the color. And then it's kind of a nice contrast with like the reds and the pinks in the skin. So the really awesome thing about the Apple Pencil is that you can really get similar to like a shading kind of stroke. I mean, I know with the Wacom tablet there's pen pressure, so you do kind of get a gradation too, but I feel like with an Apple Pencil the gradation is just smoother. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Oh, so you used to have Netflix, but you use Amazon Prime now? Oh, that's awesome. I do have Amazon Prime, but I just have it through my subscription for the free shipping. I should definitely check it out for the movies. I haven't really seen a lot of Amazon Prime movies. I think I tried to get into it a couple of years ago, but that was when they didn't have as much of a selection. But I think now they invest a lot more. I think they have like a lot more studios now that are on Amazon Prime. I think they have their own like movie studio too. I know that they recently came out with this show called The Boys. It's like about a bunch of superheroes, and everyone's like raving about it. And I think that they're gonna have is it Lord of the Rings as well. I can't wait for that. For a long series, Lord of the Rings, that's like so, that would be amazing. They've only done the movie. I don't think there's ever been a Lord of the Rings show. Pretty sure there hasn't. So this is gonna be the first, and it's gonna be super epic, like Game of Thrones. So I'm putting blue around her eyes. You have to be careful with blue around the eyes though, because I feel like that tends to make your person look tired, like they haven't had enough sleep, a little bit of a zombie too. So I went back with a brown to go over that blue. I think it's much better to have warm tones on the nose. Oops. There's kind of a sharp line here. Yeah, I can't wait for a Lord of the Rings show. I think they started filming last year. I remember reading that they started filming when Game of Thrones was ending. So hopefully it'll be released soon. So I'm just going to do some highlights on her nose here with like a lighter shade of her skin. Oops, that was a little bit too dark. And then I think she needs more red on her nose. Your nose tends to have a lot of red due to nerve endings. So her nose can use a little bit more red, and I just think blush looks super cute on the nose. I always like to put blush on my nose. And then she has this highlight. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you think it looks nice. Honestly, it was a little bit rough when I first started. I think some parts still look a little rough. I just started this a couple of nights ago, and yesterday was Thanksgiving, so I didn't do too much work on it. So when I was working on it a couple of nights ago, it just looked literally like a blob. But now it's a blob that is coming together. So I'm going to start on her lips. Her lips have a little bit of an orange tint, so let's look for something coral. Oh, thank you so much for the follow, super terrific, Trevor. So I have this type of, I don't know what to call it, almost like a negative positive relationship with art. It's always hard to get started at the beginning of art because you have to deal with the ugly when it's like just coming together. I feel like some people, when they get started, they can make their drawing or their painting look so pretty immediately. And I would kill to be able to draw like that. But for me, I feel like it takes a while to get there. Because I feel like I'm really slow and I tend to make mistakes. So for me, I feel like the beginning always looks a little bit uglier than most other people. So if you had seen this from the beginning, it might have looked a little bit rough, but it's coming together. Oh, cool. You like art streams and gaming too? I love art and gaming actually. I'm thinking of playing World of Warcraft Shadowlands later. I recently just started. Hi, Chinasaur. How are you? I'm doing well tonight. Thank you. So glad of you to join. I was just saying that, yeah, I love art and video games too, and I'm doing this art piece right now, and we'll probably play World of Warcraft later. There was such a long queue for the game since that new expansion just came out. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you think it looks good. Are actually amazing. Oops. I've been doing digital art for a while, but more in graphics, more graphic design. But I've been drawing and painting pretty much almost all of my life since I was a kid. Most artists probably start young, and then I I picked up digital um like digital drawing. When did I do that? In college. So I picked it up in college and I learned Photoshop and Illustrator. So I'm better in Photoshop. I'm using Procreate right now on the iPad, and it's a little bit different from what I'm used to. It's definitely like a lot more intuitive to use. It's a little bit more simple because the brushes are just like right there for you. You don't have to go out looking for brushes and testing a bunch of different brushes until you find the right one like you would in Photoshop. I feel like they have a really good set of basic brushes. No, her lips are too blue now. I want her lips to be a little bit more warm. Yeah, so I treat digital painting very similar to traditional painting because that's what I'm used to. I'm used to like pen and paper, so I don't take too many shortcuts that a lot of people do in digital painting, like making selections and filling in your selection that way. It's like so much quicker, but I like that actual process of painting. It was really hard to transition from traditional to digital. I mean, it's a lot of getting used to. It's just you have to get used to like the technology and then the shortcuts. So it I took a lot of classes to learn. It wasn't easy, but it was well worth it. I'm so glad I did. I definitely think that I would stick with digital painting just because it's so much more convenient and it's like less messy because you're not like I love painting, so you're not always like constantly mixing paint and then having to clean up. So that's definitely like a huge benefit. Thank you. I'm glad you think the eyes are pretty. I love green eyes. It's like the rarest eye color. It's a lot more rare than blue. think I have only ever met like one person with real green eyes, not like hazel, because some people have hazel eyes that look like green in the light, but this person that I met before had real green eyes, like they were super super bright. Hey, thank you. I'm glad you think it looks good. Yeah, technology makes everything so much easier. Like what would we do without like our phones and YouTube, right? So so you can I haven't posted my art on social media. I'm planning to, but I do have an Instagram. I think you can find it in my profile, and on my Instagram I have done makeup art. So I've done like face paintings. And my Instagram is similar to my my username here. So I'm using Procreate. Yeah, I'm starting to get used to Procreate. It was a little bit hard to use Procreate at first for me because it behaves like almost like traditional paint, where it mixes the colors together depending on what brush you use. It mixes the colors together on the canvas. So I wasn't really used to that because in Photoshop, like there were layers that would sit on top of each other and the opacities would mix together, but it wouldn't behave like paint. Where it blends together on the canvas and actually moves together. So I do plan to post more on my Instagram. I have a few portraits that I haven't posted yet. Okay, I'm going to work on her neck a little bit. I feel like her neck looks so purple compared to the rest of her skin, and it's looking a little bit weird. Looks almost like her neck is almost like a zombie. Okay, this is where I probably should make a selection because the opacities are a little bit funny. So let me make a selection. And then I'm going to fill it in. Oh, you don't see Instagram? I thought there was Instagram on there. Let me type it in. Let me type it in the chat. Oh no, I have several layers. You can see all the layers I have, but I try not to focus too much on the layers. I don't want too many layers. Oops. But I don't want to feel layers either. I want to make sure that anything that sits in the back should be in the back, and anything that's in the front should be in the front, just to make it a little bit easier. Let me look for a warm color. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you like the makeup. I haven't done it in a long time because I want to focus more on digital painting. And it always made me sad with the makeup because every time I do art, like this beautiful painting on my makeup, I take a picture of it, but then I have to wash it off at the end of the day. And makeup products are like so expensive They're like even more expensive than actual art supplies. Like the paintbrushes are probably, I don't know, 5 times more expensive. It's preposterous. I want to do animal portraits, but I feel like animals are so hard. I want to do animal portraits of my dogs. But man, all that hair, like I get fixated on the details and all that hair. Like I would have to know how to simplify dog hair. I kind of like that uneven skin tone. It looks a little bit like surreal. Oh, well, yeah, whenever I did my makeup art, no, I never went outside. It was always in home. It was, I always did it at home. Can you imagine walking outside with like that galaxy makeup? People would look at me like I'm crazy. People look at girls when they wear a lot of makeup already. Like they give them a funny look. No, I shouldn't do that. Yeah, that galaxy one is one of my favorites. That I'm so glad you picked that one because that's like one of the most favorite ones that I've done. Yeah, you know what? People probably. I guess I shouldn't say it's not okay to walk out in public with like face paint because people do face paints at party. I always thought maybe I should have done that. Like, do a face paint at a party. And then maybe I can do one of those like pretty abstract face paints like the galaxy one, or maybe I could do face paint of my dogs. That's what I should have done. I should have done a face paint of my dogs. There are some like crazy talented makeup artists that do like these optical illusion face paints. Okay, this neck is not going how I want it to. Let me switch to a dry brush. Now I'm going to switch to an old brush. The neck doesn't have enough texture. Yeah, so on Instagram makeup, there's people who just do surrealistic makeup. So they would make it look like optical illusions, like squares coming out of your face, or make like a super realistic snake like crawling on your face. I'm sure you've seen stuff like that if you ever browse Instagram makeup. Oh, the black hole on the galaxy one. Yeah, I think what I did, I don't remember exactly, but I think I just looked for um like a galaxy picture, and then there was a black hole, and that's how that came about. I don't even remember if it was because I saw someone else do a galaxy and then that was what made me look for a galaxy, but I know it was a picture that I found, like an actual realistic photo taken from space of the galaxy. And I and then I drew that using that reference picture. But because it's Instagram, and you know how you like see so many images on Instagram, like I'm pretty sure I saw someone else do something similar, because I feel like nothing is original on Instagram. Oh, I just had an idea. I should try to recreate that like do that as a portrait. Paint that picture of the galaxy, and then yeah, paint myself with that galaxy. I should try that. I think that'll be pretty cool. Or actually, it doesn't have to be myself. I probably just find another picture on Instagram, a model, an Instagram model, and then paint the galaxy over her face. Okay, this neck. This neck doesn't want to cooperate with me right now. Yeah, something else that I think would be cool is doing illustrations of classic novels. I like to read too. So doing illustrations from novels or video games, I think would be really cool. I have like all these ideas. I should write them down. You guys are giving me like great ideas, by the way. Yeah, I love video games. I've played a few video games growing up, mostly RPGs like Final Fantasy. So when I was younger, I used to draw like Final Fantasy characters or Pokemon characters. I think every artist grew up drawing like Pokemon characters. That was like the gateway into art if you're an artist. Like Pokemon and Sailor Moon. So it'll be pretty cool to draw that now and see how different or how I've grown from that. Oh, which Final Fantasy games have I played? I've played a lot of them. The first one I ever played was 7. I think that was a lot of people's first Final Fantasy. And then I played 7, and then 8, and then 9, and then when they came out with the PS2 one, that was 10. And then by the time I finished all of those, I couldn't get enough of Final Fantasy, so then I started playing like the Nintendo versions, but they had released it on PlayStation at that time. So the remake that I played was 6, and I played them from beginning to end. And then I tried to play 5, but I couldn't finish that. I think 5 was like ridiculously hard when you got toward the end. Yeah, there have been so many Final Fantasy games, and I want to. I want to try the. What is it? Final Fantasy 14, the MMO. I started a trial account and I got up to like level 20. Oh, you haven't played Final Fantasy? Do you play video games? What other video games have you played? Final Fantasy was just like a part of my childhood, but I don't think it was for everyone. I feel like something like Pokemon, probably you can say everyone was into Pokemon, but Final Fantasy, you had to be like the type of person that was into RPGs and like long storytellings and reading a lot of dialogues. I've actually never played a Pokemon game. I've only, well, growing up, I only watched like the Pokemon show, so that was how I got into it. That was like the gateway, and then collecting Pokemon cards. So that was like the gateway into drawing art because I would get the cards and then I would try to copy the cards, and that was how I started drawing more anime. But I didn't play the video games. My brother had the Pokemon, the Game Boy, the Pokemon games on Game Boy, and I couldn't get into it. I tried to play it with him, but wasn't it just wasn't for me. However, I did play Pokemon Go when they came out with Pokemon Go in 2000, was it 2016? That was like when everybody was playing Pokemon Go. And it was like such a social phenomenon that everyone was playing Pokemon Go. Oh no, you haven't played Pokemon on the Switch because you're a poor plebe. Oh, don't say that. I bet I bet you can find the Switch like secondhand. I feel like that's something that a lot of people probably bought over coronavirus because they're stuck at home, and then people lose interest and probably sell it secondhand. Okay, I'm like spending way too long on this collarbone and I need to just move on. Okay, my edges are like so messy. Oh, you've never played Final Fantasy either? So you usually play Madden, Need for Speed, and NASCAR. I've played some racing games. The most the most racing game I've played is probably like not Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart. I think I've probably played like a NASCAR game when you go to something like Dave and Buster's and they have those race car games that you can play. I'm pretty sure that's NASCAR. And then you can like sit at the wheel and drive like you're really racing. Yeah, yeah, everyone has different tastes. I do love Mario Kart. That's my favorite race car game. Does that even count? I mean, yeah, it does, right? Oh yeah, I always get Super Smash Brothers mixed up with Mario Kart. Hey, practically it's like so similar. They're both Nintendo. And Super Smash Brothers. It features Mario and practically like the whole cast. Okay, I like to think that I'm pretty good at Mario Kart, but I don't win very often. But I feel like that's only because the people who beat me have a lot more practice than I do. So if I had more practice, they would have to watch out. Thank you, super terrific Trevor. Have a good night. Sweet dreams. Bless you too. So I'm gonna go and continue on her eyelid. Eyelids scare me. I feel like it's such a delicate area that you can easily mess up and make it look like cartoony. Even though the eyelids are, it looks like it's just a line, you need to be aware of the shadows within the crease. So you still want to emphasize that shadow and go from light to dark. So in the very center of the crease, it would be dark. I feel like that's not dark enough. I think I'm on the wrong layer. Oh, let's see. That's why it's not showing up. I was on the wrong layer. Oh no, my pen oops, my pen ran out of battery. I'm using an Apple pencil, and it does charge really fast. I think it charges, you can just plug it in for like a minute and then it charges for a super long time. I think you get like an hour or over an hour of use time just plugging it in for a few seconds, hopefully. No, don't RIP my pen. It'll be back super quick. Okay. I need to finish the lid. Okay. Okay. So I just tested it out and it worked, but I should probably put it in for at least a minute. So, and then we'll come back and work on the eyes. So, the darker eye that's in the shadow needs some more work. It looks very flat right now, so I need to add some more value to that. And then the lips could use some more value too. Hi Julia Art, thank you for the follow. So the lips can use some more value. And I feel like this painting is like taking forever. Yes, he's alive. Oh my gosh, I would cry so much if my pen died. Like, now is not the time to die in the middle of the stream. It'll look like so unprofessional, so unprepared, and my pen would have been out to get me if it died. And it's way too expensive to die. I don't remember exactly how much that pen is. I want to say it's like $200, but it's like ridiculously expensive, especially when you look at other pens on the market. Like the Samsung pen is not nearly that much, and then Microsoft Surface has a pen too that's not nearly that much. I think it's like half the price. And then the Wacom tablet pens are like a fraction of the price too. I'm pretty sure it was like close to 200. Let me look it up right now, because Apple overcharges for everything. Okay, it's not 200. Sorry, it's $130. I exaggerated, but it's still like double the price of all the other pens on the market. Wacom, yes, I have Wacom. I use the Wacom tablet when I'm working in Photoshop. So right now I'm using Procreate on the iPad Pro, so that's why I'm using the Apple Pen. But typically, most of the time when I'm working in Photoshop, I use the Wacom tablet. But I don't have the Wacom tablet with me right now because I have a sister. She's in college and she's taking animation, and the Wacom tablets are expensive. So I didn't want her to have to go out to buy it. So I wasn't using it as much, and I also had my Apple Pen. So I gave the Wacom tablet to my sister. And now that I'm streaming, I'm thinking like, I should have like taken it back, but no, that'll be like super rude if I take it back, especially if she's using it for her classes. I would just have to buy a new one. And I have a full-time job, so I can just go buy a new one. My sister's not working. Yeah, my sister does art too, but she's more into, like, she's not really into realism or portraits like I am. She's more into like animations and drawing cartoon, like more of a stylized kind of drawing. Like, I think her dream job would be to work for Studio Ghibli, that Japanese studio that did My Neighbor Totoro. And what else did they do? They also did Spirited Away. That's like such a cute movie. That's probably one of my favorite movies. It's so sweet. It's just like a feel good family movie. And it's so interesting, I think, that my sister and I are both into art, but like her style is just so different from mine. And I have a brother too, but he's not into art. So I wonder if it has anything to do with genetics. But my parents don't do art either. So it's just my sister and myself. So we both have that in common. But like I said, her style is like so different. She's really into like the stylized cartoon, and I feel like I'm not good at doing I'm not good at doing that stylized cartoon. And you would think that doing animation like looks so much more simple than doing realism, but it's not. I think that stylized cartoon, like the Disney cartoon look, it's so hard to do because you have to have like a really good understanding of the basics of art, of like if you're doing like a Disney character, you have to have that basic understanding of anatomy. And to make it look good, you have to know how to like distort the anatomy properly. Otherwise, it just looks weird. And I have a really hard time doing that. I feel like um, I'm very like observant of realism, and I understand looking at a picture and um, seeing the values of that picture and then trying to mimic those values and creating that like 3D feel. But I have such a hard time when it comes to trying to translate that into cartoon or animation. And cartoon and animation are basically like exaggeration of reality. And whenever we had to work on a project that that was like a stylized type of art in class, like when I was taking I took art classes in college. I didn't major in it, but I took a lot of art classes, um, just for fun at that time, just because I really enjoyed it. And yeah, whenever we had to do a project that involved something stylized, I always had such a hard time. But my sister doesn't. She's really good at that type of drawing, but she's not into um, realistic drawing. I don't think it's because like she can't do it. I think it's just because she's not interested in that type of drawing. A lot of people say they wish they have artistic talent, but honestly, I don't think you need talent. I think that anyone can do it. I know that sounds like so cliche, like, oh, what is she talking about? Like, she already knows how to draw and she's saying that. But I think it's true. I think everyone has like a style that they're good at or a style that they gravitate toward, and it could be like something really simple, like simple art design. And a lot of people, I mean, I've seen people that can't draw at all, and they just practice. And then even in my art class, there were people that you would think like, wow, like he's not gonna get very far, but with a lot of practice. And I knew this person that was all he wanted to do. He really wanted to do like video game concept art, and with video game concept art, you have to have like a good understanding of realism too. Like if you look at like World of Warcraft art, or what is it, League of Legends art, like they're badass. They're like they're really realistic, even though they're stylized. So the guy that I knew in my art class, he really wanted to be a video game artist, but he wasn't really that great at the beginning. But because that was his dream, he just practiced all the time. And I wish that, I mean, I guess he was lucky enough to have the time to just practice that art, because not everyone has the time where they can just practice. I have to charge my iPad. Where they can just practice. Oh, I should do cool album art too, like Alex Grey. Yeah, I really like Alex Grey art. Alex Grey, if you guys don't know, does a lot of really cool psychedelic art. Like a lot of, what is it? A lot of patterns, like spatial patterns and geometric shapes, and he would combine it with like human figures, and it's so pretty. Hi Snixon, how are you? Yes, you're right. Enough practice and determination can make up for a lack of talent. Oh, so Dak, do you know more art history than actual art? Oh, what do you mean? Like, art history, but not but not, art history, but not to actually apply it and do it yourself. Oh, am I doing digital art or traditional? I was gonna say traditional. No, I'm doing digital art. I'm using Procreate. I'm using Procreate on an iPad Pro, but I'm painting, so I like to have that traditional painterly look. So that's why I have the brush strokes unblended in my art. Just noticed her chin was off. Yeah, so I leave the brush strokes unblended because I like that traditional art look. And that's what a lot of the old artists did too. They didn't blend their brush strokes. Like the Impressionist artists didn't blend their brush strokes. So that's kind of my inspiration, leaving kind of a painterly, impressionistic kind of feel. Oops. Oh, so you took a lot of art history in college. I only took one art history class in college. I wish I took more art history classes. But I do have a lot of art history books, so I do understand like the general art period dating back from like the Roman age to modernism, and then the Renaissance period, and then there's the classical period. So I do have a basic understanding of all of those periods just from that one art class that I took. I mean, not art class, art history class that I took. And I didn't have the best teacher. I'm so sad to think about it. Like, I wish I could have said that I had an amazing art history teacher. And I wish it was like one of my favorite classes because it would have been. I I looked forward so much to taking that class. But the teacher, she wasn't, I don't know. I can't even remember why I didn't like her. I think because she didn't really give us a lot of insight into art history. From what I remember, she was just like straight up reading the art history book to us in class. And for me personally, I feel that I can just read the books myself. Like, I don't like going to class to have a teacher read me a book, because I feel like when you go to school, you're paying for their insight. Like, you're paying for the their unique experience so that they can present it to you in their own unique perspective and help you learn. So yeah, I'm not into teachers that just read out of the book, especially if it's something that you're supposed to do on your own anyway. Snixon, oh, your English is bad? It doesn't look bad. Don't worry about it. So when you start painting something, it's like to start a journey. So when you have fun in this journey, the result sometimes is not important. Of course, if you like what you have painted, you like it more, so you want more journeys. That's how you feel about painting. Yes, you're right. Painting is a journey. And you know what? Everyone's journey is different with painting. And I feel like for me, I haven't always been the most consistent, so I've taken a lot of breaks in painting and drawing. And you know, if you're an artist, that's fine if you need to take a break because you don't want to pressure yourself so much that you end up hating it. But yeah, as long as you enjoy the journey and the process, the end result is not so important. And I completely agree with that. Like, people have made millions, right, on what you would call like ugly art or unappealing art. And the reason why people are willing to pay for it is because it offers the buyer a unique experience, something that they haven't seen before, or something that they haven't experienced before. Oh, you took art history in Europe? That's awesome. I've never been to Europe. I would love to go to Europe. I mean, art history is in Europe. That's like the best place that you can be to take an art class, since that's Europe is pretty much like the origin of art. Hi. So the white spots are the sun that hit the girl's face. Yes, the white spots are um yes, it's the sunlight. They're like dapples of sunlight on her face. That was why I picked this painting, because I thought can make this part bigger. I really liked the sunspots on her face. I thought it was really unique. So for the light spots, I'm gonna use cyan because I think white doesn't look very, it looks very flat. So I like to use a color, like a lighter color, such as blues or even yellows. Let me switch to a dry brush. Yeah, so I just feel like it makes it look so much more interesting when you use not a white, but a light color, super light, like a very pale cyan, and it makes it look kind of impressionistic too. I can't fill in. Yeah, with the Impressionist artists, they used a lot of colors, a lot of like small brush strokes that were bright colors next to each other. I'm using this paintbrush called an Old Brush, and it's giving a lot of texture. Oh, what is it like to be talented? Nice drawing. Thank you. I'm glad you like the drawing. Um, I I mean, this probably sounds pretentious, but I don't think I'm super talented. I think that there are so many more people talented than me, and I'm not saying that with jealousy or anything. Like, I always like to look at other artists and try to learn from them. Like, I have that reference drawing up there of the planes of the face. I didn't draw that myself, that was just a reference that I found online because I thought it was a really good reference to help me define the shapes of the face. So, where are you from? Now, with the internet, you can take inspirations from everywhere, and also, this is cool thing with Twitch. You can watch artists from all over the world and exchange ideas, techniques, and inspiration. Oh, I'm from California. Where are you from? I grew up in the suburbs of Los Angeles, and I moved to the East Bay in Bay Area. So now I live about an hour from San Jose, an hour north from San Jose. Oh, and I moved from Los Angeles to the Bay Area because of my job. I work in the tech industry in the Bay Area. So, where are you from? The sun hits the skin. I want to try it too, but with more sun. Yeah, you should definitely try it. Paintings with a strong contrast on the skin are so pretty. Like, you could look for a painting that has like 1/3 of the face in the sun or something and the rest in the shade. That would look so pretty. You're from Greece, and Sadak, you're from Oregon. Oh, that's awesome. I love Oregon. Oregon is so pretty. Like so many trees up there. I have a coworker living in Oregon too. My coworker is working from home. Oh, that's so cool that you're from Greece. So were you like born and raised in Greece or did you move there recently? Oh, thank you so much for the follows, Nixon. I've always wanted to go to Greece. I've always wanted to go to Italy and Greece. I'm really into like Greek mythology. I think a lot of people were in California anyway. When you go to elementary school, you're taught a lot of Greek mythology and Greek culture and Roman as well. So I've always wanted to go to Greece and Rome in Italy. Yeah, we learn a lot about Roman history. I think we're required to take history classes, like ancient history classes that goes over Greek culture and Roman culture. And then we also have a lot of museums as well, like the Getty in Los Angeles. There are two Getty museums, and they have a lot of like Greek and Roman art. Hi, Challenger76. Thank you. I'm glad you like the painting. I was like having a rough time with this painting. Like when I first started it, I streamed it like 2 nights ago, and I was like so frustrated with it. I felt like it was not where I wanted it to be, and I feel like some artists are really good, like right off the bat. They're super good from beginning to end, and like the process just looks amazing. But I feel like my art doesn't look the best at the beginning. I don't know why, but I feel like when I'm just getting started, it just looks like a blob. So I'm gonna add some coral to her face. Yes, the Romans were inspired from the Greeks. Yes, that's very true. The Greeks were like the OGs, and then the Romans adopted everything um from everything from Greece, and then they just modernized their civilization and took it like a step further. Should make it lighter. Nemesis is a very cute character. What's Nemesis? I don't know where that is from. Oh, I just clicked on that Imgur link. So, old man elf bust. Oh, he's an elf. That's so cool. Yeah, that's a really good high contrast. And it looks like he's shielding his face with his hand from the sun. Did you build did you sculpt that? Oh, so that's with the 3D printer? That is so cool. I didn't know. I don't know why I never thought of that, but you can 3D print like sculpted figures. That is so cool. Let me look up this Nemesis character. Oh, you're talking about Nemesis from Resident Evil? Or there are a lot of Nemesis out here. Oh, so in the photo you put primer on um the 3D print. So if you put primer on, you're planning to paint it then? Oh, that's so cool. You met a sculptor? So he gave you a picture of the bus and you printed it? That is super cool. Those 3D printers are crazy. That looks so real. Like, what is that material? Is that like a type of polyester that you printed it with? It has like the texture of clay. Oh, you use resin. That is crazy how you can get that clay texture. That is super cool. And you're gonna paint it? So it took you 3 days to print the figure? Wow, 3 days is a long time for a printer, but I guess that is a lot faster versus doing it yourself. If you were to do it yourself, it would take months. That is so cool. I took a sculpting class once and I really enjoyed it. I took a figure sculpting class. It was hard. Oh, no way. So that was a 3D model that you printed? That is so cool. It's an elf rogue. Oh my gosh, it has like so many details. He's like fishing and everything. Is this like an elf rogue from Final no, not Final Fantasy, from World of Warcraft? That is super cool. I was gonna give you a follow on my computer when I opened up the browser, but I forgot my Instagram password. So I'm on my phone now. I forgot my password, so I can't sign in on my computer, but I'm on my phone and I just followed. That's super cool. Did you do that for a client or was that just for yourself? Oh, did I do face paint? Yes, I did do a lot of face paint. Yeah, 3D printing seems super cool. I never tried 3D printing, but I would love to. Um, I love sculpting. I think sculpting looks super cool. Uh, I did take sculpting once, and that was like my favorite art class. Yeah, so I did face paint. I did face paint with like makeup and actual like cream paints that are for the face, but I just did it for fun on myself. Like in America, when you say face painter, it usually means like people who um, face children's paints at parties. So that's what I think of. Um, but yeah, I didn't face paints at parties, but I did do a lot of face painting on myself. I did a lot of colorful makeup, and then I tried to do actual paintings on my face. That was a lot of fun. I'm gonna start posting more of my actual art though, my digital art. I haven't posted it yet, but I will. Okay, I feel like she needs like some highlights on her face. That's not the sunlight. Yeah, I haven't posted on Instagram in so long. Honestly, I stopped posting on Instagram because it was freaking depressing me out. Like, when they say that Instagram gives you depression, I really believe it does. Like, especially if you're already not in a good headspace and then you just constantly look at what other people are posting, and it really does get to you. Like, if you have, I mean, I don't think Instagram is a competition, but if you have a goal that you're trying to achieve and you have like so many ideas, but they don't come to fruition for whatever reason, and then you're constantly looking at other profiles that are like achieving your goals, it really does get depressing. And yes, I understand you shouldn't let that type of stuff get to you, and you should be pretty much like mentally strong that you don't let that stuff get to you. And I try to not let it get to me, but it's hard. It's really hard. So then I took like an unintentional break from Instagram that became a practically like a forever break. But I really want to start posting more, and I want to like post my art. And I never really posted my actual art before because I don't know, I just felt like I didn't have like I just felt like I didn't draw consistently enough, and a lot of people who post art like they post every day, but I guess it really shouldn't matter. I should just do it. Oh, that's so cool, Nixon. Is that a portrait? Oh, okay, that is so cool. Did you do the makeup? or did the person in the photograph do the makeup? That is super cool. Oh, you like my hoodie? Thank you. It has like these patches on it. I got it from a thrift store. I got it from a thrift store in San Francisco. And it was actually a pretty good deal compared to what it used to be. Yes, it has like, I'm trying to, it has this cat on it too. Can't show it. Here, maybe further back. Yeah, this is my favorite part of the hoodie. It has this cat, and cats are everything on the internet. Oh, you did the makeup too? That's crazy. That's like super detailed line work for the makeup. I really like the gold in the gold in the under eyes and then the gold hood. Yeah, Instagram is a great place to connect to other artists. I think Instagram is like the best thing that ever happened to artists because before that, you didn't really have like a major website where people can display their work. I think I think there was only like Deviant Art. Like Deviant Art is the only thing that I can think of. But the thing about Deviant Art is usually only artists would use it. So with Instagram, artists have the ability to reach like a wider audience. Just people who enjoy art but don't necessarily do art, right? So yeah, Instagram is an amazing app for that. But I know in the past couple of years, like people have been complaining a lot about Instagram. Every time there's an Instagram update, people are like, oh no, the algorithm is gonna like kill my page. People get super dramatic whenever there's a new Instagram update. And I gotta say, the recent Instagram is obviously not as good as what Instagram used to be. Instagram used to be just a place where people to their hobbies, share their art, share their pictures. And remember a time when Instagram did not have ads? I remember, and that was like the best time ever. And when Instagram was new, like everyone had really bad cell phone pictures, but you thought it was like the best thing ever. And then now, modern day Instagram, everyone has like a professional camera with like nicely edited pictures. If you don't have a professional camera and edited pictures, then like you won't even be noticed on Instagram nowadays. Oh, if you have better paint, it might be more beautiful. No, I think it looks really good. I think the paint really stands out. I don't think you need better paint. Like that gold is very vibrant. Oh, you've been folding your cuffs sleeves 3 or 4 times. It's a good alternative to shoving them. Oh yeah. I didn't even realize that I was shoving them up. Are you like teasing me for shoving them up? Well, I have them folded up like once. It's just fold them up once and then I can't be bothered to keep folding them up, so then I'm just shoving them up. Yeah, I have like these lights in front of me that's like making it kind of hot in here. Yeah, so Instagram is nice social media to upload photos from your work, but you don't care if you have followers as you stream and don't have subscriber or donations. Use it only for company when I paint at home. That's awesome. Hey, no worries. I don't have subs or donations either. I'm just here to meet people and have fun painting. I think that's how it should be anyway. I was watching a Twitch streamer. I forgot his name. I think Devin Nash, and he was talking about this billionaire's tweet. I don't remember the billionaire's name, and he was saying how Twitch is like the worst way to make money. Like, if you want to make money, Twitch gives you the worst return on investment ever, unless you're like in the top, I don't know, 1%, 0.5%, or whatever. So, because you spend like so much time on a stream, a lot of people who make money, they spend like what, I don't know, like half the day streaming, like 10 to 12 hours streaming. And if you break it down by like hourly pay, it's really not great, especially you're not if you don't have like millions of subs. So yeah, I'm just doing this just for fun. I don't think it's like the most efficient way to make money unless you get really lucky. Oh, you want products from Kryolan? You know, have you ever heard of Ben Nye? Ben Nye is really good too for face paint. I think, do I have Kryolan? No, I don't think I have that. And yeah, Ben Nye is really good. And then there was another, I think there was another makeup face brand. Makeup Forever has pretty good like professional face paint, but I don't know if you can get that in Greece. If you have a Sephora probably has it. Yeah, in Sephora, there's a brand called Makeup Forever, and they have pretty, like, really good cream face paint. And it'll like last forever, but it's like super creamy. So it kind of like sits on top of the skin. It's really, really thick. If you want to get face paint that's more buildable, you can get like a water-based one as well. Like I think Kryolan has a water-based one. I think Amazon has Kryolan. I'm just adding some highlights. Oops. I'm just refining where the shadows are and the highlights. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what layer I'm doing. Okay, that looks like a mess, like a terrible blemish on her skin. So I'm gonna fix that. Oh, you want an opinion for bus? Which bus are you talking about? Oh, that's a really cute anime bust. Is this 3D printed too? So what makeup would I choose for that? Oh, resin. Did you sculpt it from resin? That is so cool. So what makeup would I choose for this anime figure? It depends. Like, what color are you planning to make the hair? I think pink hair would be really cute with those pigtails. Like colored hair. You could do pink hair with maybe a lilac eyeshadow with like black eyeliner. Or even pink hair with like pinkish red eyeshadow and then like black eyeliner. Oh, you want something more extreme? That's so funny that you picked that one. Yeah, you could totally do something like that. I love the freckles. I think that'll look really cool if you want something like something creepy, something for Halloween. I did that makeup look for Halloween. Oh, you know what? There's a really good Instagram artist that does face charts. I forgot his name, but let me look him up. Oh, I think he's tagged in that picture. Milk1422. So this is where I get a lot of my inspiration. He's this artist from Moscow. Oh, maybe I should put Instagram on here. So browser source, let me add it to my stream. I like never added a browser before. Okay, let me try this again. So I have to add, is it window capture? I have to use Chrome. There we go. Yeah, so this is the artist, Milk. He does these face charts. And a lot of people recreate the makeup. So these are his face charts. Oh my gosh, I don't know my Instagram password. I only know from my phone. Yeah, so I always get inspiration from Milk, like tons of people do. And it'll be super cool if you use his work for inspiration. He does repost you. Like you tag him and he reposts you. He reposts a lot of people. I was reposted before. Alright, so I think I'm done with this painting for now. I'll probably finish it tomorrow. I'm gonna stay on and play some video games. So I'm going to take a little break and then I'll be switching to playing World of Warcraft if anyone wants to hang out and chill. Thank you so much, Nixon. I'll come by and check you out sometime. Okay, so I'll be right back and then let's see if we have to queue for World of Warcraft. No, I'll be right back. I'm gonna switch to games.